biggest struggles people have in their life is with money. Yet we all need to have a relationship with money. As I covered in my last episode, we actually do need to have a relationship with money. We all do have a relationship with money. And this is why I spoke about how to become friends with money and so forth. But today I want to go a bit deeper and dive a bit deeper in terms of, what kind of relationship do you have with money? Do you even recognize the fact that you have a relationship with money? The most people who do actually have a relationship with money, actually everybody has a relationship with money, but even those people who think they have a positive relationship with money because they've read all these books and it's new age books and new age ideas about thinking positive about money and thinking money's freedom and etc. For some of the responses I get in my my trainings and my webinars and so forth, I find that they are very superficial in the way they talk they talk about money, and it's very superficial. Like, oh yes, I think money is amazing. I think money is when I think of money, I think of freedom. Where actually, when we dig a bit deeper, we realize that they have a lot more negative thoughts about money than positive ones, and they have to consciously think positive about money, and subconsciously, which is most of the time, they're thinking negative about money. So where does this scarcity mentality come from? Well, the thing is, the beliefs you have about money determine whether you have money or not. So this says, so if you have scarcity mentality, which you are not even aware of, if you've been, if you're a new age thinker, if you're a conscious thinker, or you may be someone who's not even aware that there's such thing as universal laws of money, or there is such thing as having negative or positive thoughts about money. You just think money just is. It just is what it is, right? So the thing is, the beliefs we hold about money actually determine whether we have money or not. So if you tell me today, Gull, no, I have a very positive idea about money. I think money is my friend, and I think money is great, and I love money, money loves me. And I would think, oh, brilliant, that's fantastic. So how much money do you have in your bank account, right? So if you really felt that from your core, if you actually believe that in your subconscious mind, that is absolutely true, that money loves you and you love money, then for absolutely you would have more money in your bank account, right? So I always say I'm a very practical girl. I think maybe because of a banking finance background as a lawyer, I have a very clear cut, well, this is a yes or a no. You can get it in black and white, especially when it comes to your bank account. So if you are in a positive mindset around money, if you really do think and have positive energy around money, then money should be in black and white in your bank account. So what is your bank balance? You don't have to tell me that. You just have to tell yourself that. Because what I want you to do, when you listen to this podcast, I'm here and talking to you, or this video series, I'm here talking about certain principles. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to think yes or no, you're right or wrong. I'm here to just give you what I believe is the best strategy to bring more money in. So do yourself a favor and be very honest with yourself in terms of how you think and feel about money. And if you are honest, and you follow the teachings and the principles I will show you in the video series, the podcast series, you'll begin to change your relationship with money. And this is the first principle to understand is, if you don't have money in your bank account right now, then it's because of your negative feelings and energies around money, okay? So now let's talk about being prosperous. A lot of people, especially spiritual people who are, are religious or have this new ideas about, giving and spirituality and so forth, they have this idea that being prosperous is somehow mutually exclusive from being spiritual. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Absolutely can be further from the truth, okay? Why should that be the case? Let's work out, what does the word prosperous mean? Well, the word prosperous just literally means to flourish, to succeed, to thrive, to experience favorable results. So how does being prosperous make you mutually exclusive from spirituality? It doesn't. It doesn't, absolutely not. Somehow, over the years and through a culture of programming, we have begun to believe that there's somehow divinity and nobility in poverty, and somehow wealth means corruption, evil, disaster, and so forth, right? We've actually attributed being poor with God and being godly, and being rich to be with Satan and greedy and towards hell, which is absolutely not true. And if these are your deep rooted feelings about money, then I promise you, if you think you're a good person, if you're a good person and you believe yourself to be a good person, and I believe you're a good person, then you would push money away, because you couldn't possibly be a good person and still have money, right? It doesn't make sense. You wouldn't allow yourself to have money, because if you did have money, you would become corrupt, regardless of the number of books you read, regardless of the number of podcasts you listen to, regardless of what all the work that you've been doing on yourself, right? It's very important to actually first recognize how do you really feel about money, right? So being prosperous allows you to allow your dreams to come true. It allows you to have experience the life to its fullest. When you have money, enough money to be able to go and travel the world and see the nature and be able to have, amazing, exquisite foods and stay in luxury places and to experience physical 3D materialistic luxuries, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Okay? It allows you to open your mind and think fully. I promise you, if you are sitting there, you're sitting there and you're worrying about your rent and your mortgage and your credit card bills and how you're going to make the ends meet, there's going to be very little time left to reflect on your life purpose. How can you give back to the community? How can you build your relationship? How can you have better health? How can you have a better, more fulfilling life? You can't. It's very difficult. There's very limited time available, because most of the time is spent either working, doing the 9-to-5 grind, as I say it, and also the rest of the time worrying about, okay, do I have enough money for my debts and my bills and so forth, right? And even if you reduce your needs to the bare minimum, you still need money for the bare minimum. You still need food, water, shelter, right? Many people suffer because they have this split energy around money. They want to have money, right? But then somehow, because of this internal programming, they feel guilty about wanting and desiring money, and that's what really, sort of pulls them in both direction. Okay, and because of that, because they have the split energy around money, the amount of work that they do through meditation and, chanting affirmations and reading countless books, they find that they pretty much have, take one step forward and 10 steps back. Because regardless of the amount of positive work you do through reading and literature and so forth, they haven't actually addressed the core ideas about money. I have been guilty of this, and I remember when I've read through everything under the sun when it comes to success and prosperity and so forth, and I realized that I was chasing success, whereas I had these specific issues around money that I had to address. I was successful. I have been very successful throughout my life in various stages of my life, but I had various very strong beliefs around money which I had to address before I became truly prosperous. Now, the abundant and prosperous attitude will not only pay your bills, but make you feel calm inside, and that kind of calmness you will never feel ever. I promise you. The kind of sleep you have when you're not worried about your bills, you will never experience. Of course, we're talking about attracting money and having money in a way which is a win-win situation, where you give in return, the service you provide or the products you provide give you 10 times the value back to your clients and customers than what you receive back in monetary terms. But that's obviously another topic for another day. But it's when you attract this high vibration of money, then you become prosperous in all walks of life, in your family life, in your health, in your joy, in your happiness, and especially money. Money comes to you through avalanches of abundance, through multiple sources on a continuous basis, and that's what we want for you. Yeah, it allows you to thrive and experience everything that life has to offer. And I promise you, you cannot experience everything life has to offer. This physical life that we have, we're only here for a short period of time, guys. You're in the newsletter. We're not here for years and years and years. There's a finite time, maybe 80 to 100 if you're lucky. But unless an accident or something gets you beforehand, there is a finite time on this planet, and this is what you need to utilize. In that I've got 60, 70, 80 years on this planet. How can I live it to the best of my ability? How can I give back to the community? How can I give back to people? And how can I live fully, experience everything that life has to offer? I want you to get the big picture, okay? I want you to understand the big picture. So, I want you to take a step back and actually realize the thoughts you have and the beliefs you hold have gotten you to where you are. Okay, so this is a moment of consciousness for you. The thoughts you've had up until now, the beliefs you've held up until now have made you what you are and will continue to do so. That's the truth. Okay, there's no arguing with that. But this also means, regardless of where you are right now, you can change your relationship with money, because it all begins with you, and that's a universal law. Okay, whether you have money or you don't have money is because of your own internal beliefs, feelings, and emotions around money. It has nothing to do with some divine God who's punishing you, or the society, or the circumstances, or anything at all. Okay, I want you to stop playing the victim. I want you to stop being this, in this victim mode, and this, in the survival mode, and I want you to start thriving. And in your thriving mode, you know for a fact that if you can create this scenario where you don't have much money, that means you can create a scenario, you can create your life where you do have abundant money for all your needs, for all the holidays, for all the charity work that you want to do. Everything you want to do is possible for you, right? The change begins with you. Today, I'm actually going to give you a step-by-step process in this video for you to dramatically and rapidly change your life. I said it, yeah? All the tools that I give you are very simple but very effective. So if you follow my podcast, and if you follow the video series and do this step by step, I promise you things will start to change for you. They will, but you have to have faith, and you have to have consistency. Consistency is the key. Let's start at the beginning. The 3 main principles, okay, which are absolutely crucial for every single person to understand about everything, the whole world, okay? And these are 3 core principles of law of attraction. And I talk about this extensively in my challenges, and we do, as I said before, we run Millionaire Mindset Makeover Challenge every 2-3 months, and I talk about this extensively during those 5 days in that challenge. But I'm going to share those 3 core principles today, here, right now. So the very first principle is that everything is energy. Okay, everything is energy. Everything in the universe, from my hair to the sound of my voice, to everything that's seen and unseen, and everything in between. Okay, it's all just energy. Quantum physics teaches us this. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this. I may do a later, if there's a demand for it, people want it, I may do a later episode specifically on this this topic. But for the time being, I'm just going to go with the idea that you've accepted it, that everything is energy. Okay, every single thing is energy. And if that's the case, principle number 2 is all energy resonates at a particular frequency, or vibrates at a particular frequency, right? So there's a vibration for example, the particles in my hand are vibrating at a particular frequency, which makes it dense, and it can see appears to be a physical hand, right? That same way, so there's everything is resonating at a particular frequency. That's principle number 2. And the actions we take, the thoughts and beliefs and feelings we have every single day carry a particular frequency. Okay, does that make sense? This is so crucial for you to understand. So your actions, the actions you take every single day, the thoughts you're having every single day, the beliefs which are ingrained in your paradigms, all create, and your feelings all have a particular frequency at a particular, so they're vibrating at a particular vibration, right? And this is crucial for you to understand that the energy of appreciation vibrates very differently, and it has a different frequency to the energy of frustration. We know this for a fact, right? When you're anxious, you're upset, you're behaving in a different way. When you're calm and you're happy, you're behaving in a different way. We know this for a fact, right? And so this is so important for you to know that at every given moment in time, you have a dominant vibration. So in any given moment in time, depending on what your subconscious programming is, or maybe at that time you're consciously thinking positively, whatever may be the case, at every given moment in time, you have a dominant vibration. Okay? At any given time, and at any given time, the dominant vibration that you have is being broadcasted out to everyone and everything around us. So you're pretty much like a satellite. If you can imagine yourself, okay, that you and your mind rather is like a satellite receiver and transmitter. So it's a satellite. It's sending out signals constantly on a particular frequency. Now, not only is it sending it out signals there, it's also a receiver. So whatever frequency you are on at that moment in time, you're receiving signals back. Now, I'll give you an example, and this will highlight for you exactly what happens. So, every time you have a thought, one thought leads to another thought leads to another thought. Why? Because you start transmuting at that particular frequency, and you are receiving at that particular frequency. And this works for positive as well as negative. So you may start thinking about, I don't know, when you were wronged by your brother when you were little, he took your dolly or something. And then you start thinking, oh, he's annoying. And then he saw this, and he did this, and he did that. Why was that? Because not only is your neuron programming that, your brains are wired together like that way, it's also energetically. So you're sending out this negative ideas. You have this negative emotion at that time. So your dominant vibration is negative at that given moment in time. And therefore what you're able to receive back is negative. So not only are you thinking more negative about your brother, but you're also having negative emotions coming back that makes you spiral downwards. Now, converse is also true. You can actually have a happy thought. So you smile and you think, oh my God, I remember the first time I picked up my son, when he was born. And then I get very emotional. I feel like, oh, he was so cute, and this and that and so forth. And I start sending out that as my dominant frequency at that time, dominant vibration at that particular time. And then I start receiving more thoughts and ideas around that concept. And obviously I get more ideas around that topic, right? We know this every time. And you're thinking, okay, so you can either spiral downwards, you can spiral upwards. It's your choice, but it's a conscious choice that you have to make. Subconsciously, you'll start thinking on, whatever you're programmed to think. Now, this is a crucial point to understand. This vibration that you're sort of broadcasting out into the world becomes attracted to and aligned with everything that's on that particular frequency. And this is why the receiver brings back all the other thoughts and other memories and other ideas are just similar to the one you just sent out. Really crucial, guys, really crucial for you to understand this point. So at any given time, your emotions, feelings, thoughts, ideas, and actions are creating your dominant vibration and sending it out to the ethers of the universe, and whatever vibration is sending this out on, what comes back. So it's only able to receive on that particular vibration. Therefore, only that particular vibration comes back. Be it good or bad, it doesn't care. It doesn't matter. Okay, your subconscious mind doesn't care. Your as a receiver, the satellite doesn't care. It doesn't care which vibration's on. It doesn't care what is sending out, receiving. It's just a piece of instrument. That's how your mind is, and that's how your mind operates. This is why your subconscious mind is a lot more powerful. I always compare it to the subconscious mind is like an airplane, and your conscious mind is like the pilot. Okay, the pilot has a lot of control over the plane, but if the airplane is programmed internally to go from Japan to New York, you cannot bring it to London. Okay? You have to change the internal programming in order to change direction and come to London instead. Right? This is so important. This is especially true for those people who've read all these books and have come to me like, I've tried all these programs and none of the programs work, etc., etc. And I tell them, if you are thinking positively about money, artificially, as they say, chanting affirmations, and for about 5 to 10 minutes, maybe an hour a day, during your meditation and so forth, about money in a positive light, yet 23 hours, the rest of the 23 hours, you're thinking negatively about money, then your dominant vibration that you're sending out into the ethers of the universe is negative towards money. And there's only so much there's only negative things you can go back. That means you'll be pushing money. So the third principle is for you to understand, you need to change your dominant vibration about money. It doesn't go without saying, right? Not just about money, but anything. So if you want to have better health, if you want to have more money, if you want to have better relationships, you need to change your dominant vibration about that particular point. And because we're talking about money, I'm going to talk about money. So if you want to have more money, then you need to change your dominant vibration about money. And if you do so, if you change your dominant vibration about money constantly, so you're constantly, or at least majority of the time, sending out these really positive vibrations about money, then money has no choice but to come. Money will have to come to you. This is the law. So before we create an external relationship with anything in the universe, we must have an energetic relationship with it. This is one of the laws, universal laws. You have to have an internal relationship with the partner, that baby, that job, that career, that business, and etc. Whatever it is that you want externally in the 3D world, you have to have an inner energetic relationship with it. You have to create it internally first before it manifests outside. That makes you a conscious creator. If you're not consciously creating, then you're creating by default. So that means you're still creating. It just means that your internal ideas about certain things are negative and not as productive or as favorable to you. And that's what shows up in your 3D world, be it bills, be it more expenses, be it unexpected bill, and so forth. Once again, what creates our relationship with money? Your thoughts, ideas, beliefs around money, and the meaning you've assigned to money, the choices you make in relation to money, and the way you secretly, internally feel about it in your heart and mind. All those things together go to create, to determine what is your relationship with money, and then determine how much money is allowed to come to you, and even more so, how much is allowed to stay. Because if a lot of people come to me, and I'm quite blessed that we work with amazing entrepreneurs and people from professional backgrounds. And they always say to me, I mean, money comes in, but money goes, and I don't know where it goes. Because sometimes you align yourself in a way that you're providing a service which is of really high use and value to people. So you're able to create the money, but you're not able to keep that money. And that's one of the major issues that people have. That how do I keep the money that's coming to me and create more? So this is for you to take away that your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs, the meanings you assign to money, the way you choose to spend or have money, and the way you secretly, subconsciously feel about money, all together combine, determine how much money you have and how much you can keep it. Okay, so to transform your relationship with money, you need to create a more powerful, energetic relationship with money. And this is crucial. Okay, use the universal laws in your favor rather than against you. And the best way to do that is to create a very powerful, energetic relationship with money. As I mentioned in the previous podcast, this is where talking to your money avatar is so crucial. And that's where you build a friendship with money. Okay? And therefore, when you start talking to your money avatar on a daily basis, you are choosing to align yourself on a daily basis with positive attitudes and feelings towards money, and thereby you create a new relationship, a healthy, positive relationship with money. So this is, hope you enjoyed today's episode. This is all for today. I will be back with another episode, and we'll be talking more about how to create and make more money. And if you're enjoying these podcasts, if you're enjoying this video series, then please leave a comment for us. And if you're if you're hearing this on the podcast, please do leave us a review and a comment. I love to read all your reviews. I do actually read all the comments, and I do respond back. And if you want to get in contact with us, then email us at gull@gullkhan.com. Otherwise, I will see you soon. Until the next time we meet, this is Gull Khan signing off.